Hello and welcome everyone to today's webinar, today's top direct booking trends. We are going to discuss today how to turn these trends into smart conversion strategies for your hotels. So I want to first thank everyone for joining. I know that we have people from all over the world joining us today, which is very exciting. I know that you're probably staying late, waking up early. So just want to say on behalf of all of us on the webinar today, thank you for joining us, and we really appreciate having you and your attention today. So a few housekeeping details to start off with. Today's webinar will be recorded, so we will go ahead and send that out to all registrants within the next 24 hours. Additionally, we will be presenting about 45 to 50 minutes of content today. We have 3 speakers, about 15 minutes each, and we will definitely leave time right after all of the speakers have gotten to present to answer questions from our audience. So please use the questions box at any time during the presentation and go ahead and submit those questions, and we will review them at the end, and each of our individual experts will provide you some good answers for those. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started with some introductions. Introduce you to all of our speakers for this afternoon. First one, including myself. Hi everyone, I'm Valerie Castillo. I am the VP of Marketing at TrustYou. We are a guest feedback platform that gives hoteliers the power to listen to their guests by ensuring that managing guest feedback is easy, it's powerful, and it's actionable. And I'm especially excited to host regarding today's topic, as marketing for hotels has been part of my DNA for over 9 years. So thank you all for joining me today to talk about one of my favorite topics. Also on our panel of experts, we have Dave Dugal. He is the Director of Sales at the GuestBook. Dave has worked in every facet of hotel operations and has led marketing strategy for several large boutique brands. He is well-versed in digital marketing and technology and regularly serves as a featured speaker at marketing technology conferences. As a previous hotelier himself, he is deeply passionate about direct booking initiatives that help put a dent in those pesky OTA commissions. So thank you, Dave, so much for joining us.
Thanks, happy to be here.
Thank you. And then last but not least, we have Adam Lamagna. He is the Senior Digital Strategy Manager at TravelTripper. Adam has over 8 years of experience in the agency space. Currently, as Senior Digital Strategy Manager at TravelTripper and Pegasus, he helps hotels across North America and Europe increase conversions and maximize direct revenue. His background consists of web and mobile strategy, experience design, project scope development, and website security. He also hosts a podcast series that explores digital strategy called Unstrategic. So thank you, Adam, so much for joining us as well.
Thanks, guys. Happy to be here too.
So we will go ahead and jump right into our agenda. We each have a very big point that we're trying to get across today around best practices with managing your and getting more direct bookings. So first off, we at TrustYou will talk about the booking behavior of digital natives and the relevance of hotel reviews in the booking process. And then I'm going to pass it over to our co-speaker, Dave, to talk about how to increase direct bookings by offering rewards versus discounts. And then we will pass it over to Adam, who will talk about the common hotel website mistakes to avoid and a comprehensive best practices checklist. That will be very exciting to check out. Some awesome key takeaways will come from that. And then each of us have planned to also highlight what ROI hotels can expect from implementing these new marketing and conversion tactics. So we all know that best practices are great, all of this is important, but where's the revenue coming from? So we're each gonna highlight that in our individual presentations. And so we hope that you find that to be very helpful. So I'm going to start things off with my topic, the booking behavior of digital natives and the relevance of hotel reviews in the booking process. So to highlight this, I actually am going to be referring back to, throughout my presentation, this white paper, which earlier this year we collaborated with the IUBH University of Applied Sciences and the global tourism company TUI to analyze the impact of reviews on the booking behavior of digital natives. Digital natives will be a definition that we explore in just a couple of minutes, but I think you can probably gather who that might be. But the study was conducted over a period of 3 months in 2018 from June to August, and the presentation of the results is based on the online survey that we collected from over 300 people within the age group of 18 to 28. So you can find a copy of this white paper anytime on our website at TrustYou.com. But today you're going to get a sneak peek of all of the highlights, everything that you need to read. You don't have to go through the white paper unless you want even more detail, but we're going to give you all of the highlights and key takeaways that we found based on our user research. So with any good study, you kind of have a central concept. And the question that we wanted to answer was, how do digital natives perceive and use reviews as a means of communication in the tourism industry? So at TrustYou, our business is guest reviews and feedback. It's very near and dear to our heart. And so we're constantly exploring how reviews are impacting the industry. And we aim to always be able to relay that information to our customers and the hospitality industry as a whole. So this was a great complement study to other studies that we've done in years prior. And was a very exciting, we had some very exciting findings, which is great, and what I'll present to you today. So to start off, as promised, a brief definition of the digital natives. As you can tell from the age group that we are pulling from, 18 to 28, this is perhaps what you would more familiarly call millennials or Gen Z. This is a target group of young travelers that are rising to be the largest group of travelers that we've ever seen before, and will have a major impact on the industry in many ways. And since they've grown up with the technology of the digital age, they're interacting with websites and content and all of the things that your hotel has in slightly different ways. So that's what we wanted to explore and kind of figure out what the future of the travel booking process will be once this age group is really our primary traveler within the industry. So getting right into the research, first we evaluated their tendency to read reviews, so and the amount of reviews that they need to make a decision. So we're always interested in this type of data to help us ensure that reviews are relevant as the years go by and that travelers still need review content to make decisions. And it was very much in line and even exceeded some of our previous research that said that 95% of travelers read reviews. In this study, 99% of these digital natives reported reading at least one review before making a booking decision. And then it's a little bit of a less, but still a great majority, 68% are looking at 6 or more reviews. So this is definitely more than we were predicting before doing this study. But as you can see from their name, digital natives are digitally savvy, so they know how to use all of their resources. So there's a lot of time spent researching reviews, clicking into them to find out more information. So they're definitely using these on a very regular basis, which was good for us to find out. But in terms of the booking decision, how important is it to them to make a booking decision? We also measured this as well. So the importance of reviews. So on the scale of importance, 83% of digital natives said that online reviews play a very important role in the booking process. So a good portion of that wheel taken up by people that definitely believe that they need to read reviews. So these are definitely the findings that we were hoping for as well, affirming the fact that digital natives are using review content in their booking decision and need this information to move forward with a booking. This is made especially important when we consider a hotel's own website. While OTAs and meta searches have been testing and using review content for years to increase conversions, there are still some hoteliers that don't have this information readily available. There's many clicks that you have to get into before you see that review content. The widgets might be hidden or not above the fold. So we definitely want to make sure that this information is readily available on the website. And we'll get into kind of more details about how you can do that in just a few slides. So next up, we went ahead and You can imagine at a company with the name TrustYou that we had a notion that review content was mainly about trustworthiness. Travelers wanted to trust the hotel before they book. And guest reviews were the easiest way to establish that trust without, asking around to all of their friends if they've ever been to this hotel. But not just any type of guest review will really suffice and make it trustworthy. According to our group of respondents, reviews are made more trustworthy based on the writing style, how recent they are, and also how much detailed content is included in them. So I personally find this very relatable, as on most sites I'm looking at the most recent feedback first, and I'll note if a brand is using feedback from maybe 2017 to help support their brand. And it makes me a bit suspicious that maybe things have gone downhill since then, and they don't have something great to report on from the recent past. So even if at one point your company was a review generating machine and you're receiving all the feedback you needed and you got the star rating you needed, if the feedback isn't recent, it could be less valuable. So it's definitely encouraging that we want to keep getting new reviews. Also, I think the detailed content is an important one to note as well. With a lot of the reviews that you can leave on Google or booking.com, there will just be like an open text box that, has a few details. And, they'll kind of write in maybe just thank you to the hotel or it was a great stay. And that's maybe not enough for these digital natives to understand if they're getting a good deal. So a guest survey will really help you here to inquire more detailed aspects of the stay, like how the Wi-Fi was, how the restaurants were, what the amenities were like, so that you can provide a more comprehensive full text review for people that are going to be staying at your property in the future. And that's what these digital natives really tend to prefer. And along with some great content, we also assessed the use of imagery in reviews. So I think this statistic definitely explains why you might have been experiencing more traffic to your Instagram or Facebook profiles rather than your hotel website in recent years, as 80% of the participants said that images are important or very important for their booking decisions. So right up there with the reviews. So again, harking back to how this relates to your own website, make sure to include galleries on your website, even, feed in images from another source on your website to make sure that you're holding and capturing the attention of these digital natives, because it does seem very important to them. But jumping back into the review content portion now, I want to show you a couple examples that we gave them. So we gave them many examples of review widgets and how they might be able to see them. And we assessed 3 levels of review content to find out what styles and options digital natives preferred. And we found when it comes to widgets, it's this image on the left here that you see that actually came in first and was preferred by 72% of the respondents. And another 46% chose option 2. We do include our branding on that particular bubble box, but they did like that it had similar information, just a little bit bigger. So similar information on both of these widgets, just slightly different style, but it does seem like this 5-point scale with the estimated number of reviews and exactly what their star rating is kind of what they want to see front and center when they're first looking at review content. So digging into this a little bit more, you can have a widget, but where should you place it on your website? I was talking about that before a little bit, kind of highlighting how important it is to make sure that this widget is very present. So we asked them exactly where they would want to see it. And the winner here was here embedded with the hotel description and price, as you see the placement here. And 77% of respondents said that they preferred it there. Other positions such as overlaying the primary visual next to the hotel name or as part of the image gallery all got very comparably fewer votes at 11, 10, or 2% respectively. So 77% saying that this is where they want to see it. That's definitely kind of a resounding yes of exactly where they want to see the review widget. And then we finally asked them to choose which reviews were most relevant when they were displayed on the TUI website. So we gave them a few different examples, TUI's own review portal. We also gave them the German language online travel agency Holiday Check, their reviews, and then also our third-party review summary, our TrustYou meta review. And that was the preferred option with 44%. And TrustYou's meta review is found on many third-party sites, definitely for this reason, such as hotels.com, Kayak, and Skyscanner. And many of our hotel clients also provide this review summary on their websites as well. It also appears, our review summaries appear on Google Hotel Search and Maps. So we're happy to hear that not only the industry is happy with the meta reviews that we're creating, but also the travelers themselves definitely have a clear preference for the style of showing reviews. So now I will quickly go through kind of what our recommendations and implications are, so that after this webinar you can kind of immediately go back and say, I know how to engage with digital natives to get these bookings and to drive ROI. So first here, I say definitely embed a widget on your hotel website to provide these travelers with what they need to make a booking decision. We recommend to show the overall review score and make sure to place it on your website where it's highlighted and where these digital natives want to see it. Additionally, you can take it a step further and add summarized information about the hotel, such as great service or good location, to give the best overview of what they can expect. So these are the kind of detailed content summary reviews that are really valuable to these digital natives. Next up, keep it clear and build trust. You don't need anything fancy as a widget. They just need to know your score on a 5-point scale. And additionally, if you collect your own reviews through your own survey, these can generate more positive reviews overall and increase your rating, which is important because of the next slide that I'll present. We've also done some additional partnership and research, and we have definitely been able to prove that as your ratings increase, you're also able to grow your revenue. Research shows that guest ratings are more valuable than the hotel brand and the most important considering factor after brand and price. So as you can see in the scale on the right, the higher the score, the higher the price premium that you can provide. So travelers will not be scared away about a steeper price versus your competitors, as long as that score is over 4 out of 5. Therefore, one of our key direct booking initiatives should be to focus on your hotel rating, make it prominent, so that you can continue to drive that ADR. So I hope that information was helpful for you. I'm excited to now share the best practices from our other guest speakers. So with that, I will go ahead and pass the presentation along to Dave, who will be discussing how you can use rewards as a direct booking best practice.
Thanks, Valerie. Great feedback also on the online reputation. Awesome stuff. Hello, everyone. My name is Dave Dugal from the GuestBook. And for those of you that haven't heard of the GuestBook, we are a platform built by hoteliers for hoteliers to help you increase your direct bookings. And today we're just gonna really dive in quickly into how do we increase those direct bookings by offering rewards versus discounts. So let's start off with the good news. Hoteliers are slowly winning that battle. After years of ceding ground to the online giants, hotel direct bookings are now slightly outpacing OTA bookings, according to a Focusrite data group. Last year, direct bookings accounted for around 49% of US hotel and lodging online gross bookings versus OTAs at 51%. And it's predicted by 2022 that direct bookings are on track to grow to over a 50% share. And why is that really happening? So if we look at what hotels are doing now in tandem with correcting parity issues or even aggressive and creative marketing strategies with SEM and meta search, it's really simple. As what we look at the GuestBook, people prefer rewards over discounts and they love cash back. Today, we're actually going to talk about the evolution of cash back rewards and why people are choosing cash back and how you at the hotel can supercharge your booking engine with the power of cashback. The turnaround we mentioned earlier follows a period of intense investment from major hotel companies that have encouraged customers to book direct by beefing up loyalty programs and launching aggressive marketing campaigns. Specifically, we should look at what Hilton has done. And there's a really good case study where Hilton has led the charge with strong reward programs to attract guests, and their efforts appear to be paying off. In the company's recent earnings call, the CEO of Hilton told investors that over the past year, direct web bookings grew 3 times faster than any other channel that Hilton uses. And he attributed the direct booking surge in part to robust marketing efforts focused on the rewards program. And rewards are really popping up in every category. For decades, after American Airlines invented the frequent flyer program, loyalty programs have started to spread beyond airlines into every facet of commerce, from public transport to healthcare. Even Chipotle understands the value of rewards and offers cash back now to their guests. So a survey conducted by RetailMeNot and Google revealed attitudes and preferences from over 1,000 US consumers. And so if we look at consumer behavior, it showed that nearly half would make a purchase when it was combined with a cashback offer. This is becoming normal behavior for these consumers. And 25% of the guests, 25% of the survey guests said that they would have redeemed a mail-in rebate or a cashback offer in the last 12 months. And 20% of those shoppers said they made a purchase or spent more than they planned to because of the cashback offer. So this is a direct shift in consumer behavior. And cash is definitely more powerful than points and perks. Another survey that was conducted by the US News rewards with reward card holders, credit card holders, it revealed that cash back is the most popular credit card reward, with the highest number of respondents said that they signed up for a credit card to receive cash back, then followed by travel rewards. So we can actually see that cash back is a monumental shift in how consumers review their rewards. But what about discounting? We know that money can't buy love. So aren't they attractive to consumers, and why are they not? So research also conducted by the Aberdeen Group finds reward-based promotions are more profitable than discount-based promotions. Consumer loyalty is fleeting. Rewards keep shoppers coming back and build a long-term relationship based on positive experiences. In fact, rebates or cash back are the most valued loyalty reward in both Canada and the US. Product discounts and free products come in second and third. Another interesting aspect of looking at how a discount is perceived by the consumer from a consumer behavior standpoint is myself as a consumer, we've been trained to understand then when an organization has discounted something by 15%, the reality is that we perceive that it's been uppriced by 20%. So a discount is actually considered to be a trick in the eyes of a consumer. And don't just think that this is a middle class phenomenon. I mean, even rich people want their cash back too. 60% of credit card holders with investable assets of over $100,000 say that cash back is their favorite credit card perk. And cash back was also the top rated perk among even the wealthiest Americans. 53% of those with assets of over $500,000 said they prefer cash back over any other rewards, while 1/3 of them only said they would choose miles. So let's look at a proven plan to convert those direct bookings. And let's actually prove that guest rewards can drive RevPAR and hotel profit in the short term. First, we'll evaluate the mathematical proof. Most chain hotels and the majority of independents are keen to offer a direct booking discount, which usually ranges between 3 to 10% versus the lowest rates offered publicly on the OTAs. The logic is that discount percentage plus other direct booking costs are still cheaper or better than paying the OTA commission. And research from Calibri Labs has shown that direct booking rewards are beneficial to the bottom line. All else equal, a guest who is given a side-by-side choice between paying full price, for example, or a 5% discounted price will always choose the discounted price. This scenario is what we call a zero breakage scenario, since 100% of the guests would have otherwise paid full price to take that discount. And what we're also showing on the screen is how a reward versus a discount impacts the bottom line on a P&L. And so if you were to look at $100,000 of ideal revenue on the top line revenue, and you were to break it into 3 buckets, the first being OTA bookings at a conservative 15% commission, the P&L will show $100,000 top line rev, $15,000 on the commission and fees, and a net revenue of $85,000. And in the middle box, when you look at the 5% hotel discount model, now a discount's never shown on a P&L because it's hidden in the top line revenue. So when you see the top line revenue of $95,000, no commissions and fees, and a net revenue of $95,000 is what it shows on the P&L. But when we actually look at a 5% cash back model, and we know at the GuestBook, after being battle tested over 700 hotels worldwide, that only 20% of guests really ultimately claim the reward. So if you take that 5% times the 20%, it results in 1%, or in this situation, $1,000. And so you could take $1,000 off your top line rev and the commissions and fees at $600, which results in a much more stronger and healthier P&L, showing our net revenue of $98,400. And so this is a direct way to showcase how it really impacts the P&L. And let's actually talk about the breakage for a moment. So what percentage of guests would actually claim their cash reward when it only takes a minimal effort to do so? And when we ask that question to hoteliers, most presume that it would range between 75% to 95% consumption. However, again, through our 4-year experience of working with hotels and providing cash rewards to over 100 to hundreds of thousands of guests and over 700 plus hotels worldwide, we know that that percentage averages around 20%. So in other words, there's an 80% breakage that the hotel does not need to pay. And back to our mathematical comparison, and assuming there is no cost for providing the rewards, the discount costs the hotel 5% of revenue and profit, and the reward costs them only 1%. So this is a very important aspect of our platform, and what we believe from offering the rewards versus discount is the breakage, and that breakage must be factored into the overall strategy component. So ready to leverage the power of cash back to increase those direct bookings. We've got quite a few hotels that have already worked with us, again, 700 globally in nearly 72 countries, and many major brands, whether it's a small hotel or a large group of hotels, we have the ability to power your booking engine to increase those direct bookings. We're able to supercharge your booking engine here, and what we're showing on the left-hand side of the screen is a clear example of our integration with ResTrip. We work with the top 25 booking engines worldwide, but here's a clear example of how we work and partner with TravelTripper and their ResTrip booking engine, where we integrate directly onto the booking engine by adding one line of code, and we offer the guests 3 options. Should they book direct and complete their stay, they have the ability to earn up to 1 of 3 rewards. The first being 5% cash back via PayPal or gift card, or they can take that 5% and donate it to any charity or cause of their choice in the world. And the third is we'll actually triple it up to 15%, and the guest can utilize that 15% towards a future GuestBook stay at any one of our properties in our portfolio. And regardless of what the guest selects in either one of those 3 scenarios, the hotel still only assumes a 5% cost onto the guest. But all of our data shows that guests don't care about points. What they really do care about is instant gratification. And that's why nearly 95% of our guests simply take the 5% cashback option. And as hoteliers, you all know that proof is in the numbers. And so we had many hotels that have come to us that are currently using discounting strategies. And here's an example of a hotel that was heavily reliant on their discounting strategy only. And so what we've done is we've completed an A/B test, and we perform an A/B test over a 30-day window where we run the hotel's existing strategy against our rewarding strategy. And we basically display the guest book to every other visitor to the website. And so for this hotel, when the guest book was turned off and there was only simply a discounting model, the conversion on the booking engine was 2.84. However, when the guest book was turned on and there was a rewards message added, we increased that lift by 20% to 3.41, resulting in 88 versus 105 on the top line revenue. And during those 30 days, 19% of the guests enrolled and confirmed their account, at which point in time the 105 times the 19 times the 5% reward goes back to the guest, times the 3% is what we collect as our commission. But even if you took out the commission and the rewards that were issued to the guest, this hotel saw a $16,000 net operating revenue lift in 30 days when we ran discounting versus rewards, which results in an 11x revenue to cost multiple. Simply put, we know at the guest book that rewards outpace discounting, and we can actually provide a lift in conversion on the booking engine by 20%. If you'd like to learn more, we're going to be posting a great article today on LinkedIn. Please follow us and find out how we can help you increase those direct bookings and put a dent in those pesky OTA commissions. Thanks, Valerie.
Thank you so much, Dave. That was a great presentation. Really awesome statistics backing up everything that you guys are doing. So excited to see what's to come for the guest book. So without further ado, we will go to our last presenter, Adam, with Pegasus and TravelTripper.
Yeah, hey everyone. I'm Adam Lamagna, and I'm the Senior Digital Strategy Manager at TravelTripper and Pegasus. And we're a tech provider and digital partner for hotels worldwide to help increase direct bookings and maximize revenue by covering all pieces of the booking funnel from search to book. We have a digital marketing agency that helps with paid search efforts. We have a web agency building websites, and then a booking engine, CRS, ResTrip, that we integrate with the websites. And let's get right into the discussion points for this section. So they're really going to revolve around three areas. We're going to talk about conversion tactics, so simple conversion tactics, what to do, what not to do. We're going to talk about UX design trends. So there are some pretty cool new design concepts worth implementing on your website to boost engagement. And then finally, we'll talk about content best practices for hotels. This will come in the form of a checklist that you can basically use to compare against your current website. So let's move right into simple conversion tactic number one. And I know this seems like a no-brainer, but I still see hotel websites that don't have this. But it's a simple sticky book now button. And the objective here is to give users the opportunity to book anytime they make that decision. And we don't know when that's going to come on the website. Our recommendations for it are to make sure that button is in high contrast in relation to its background. So don't have a white button on a white background. You want to have, yellow on black, red on white, something along those lines. And then use simple terminology: book, reserve, select dates. You want to stray away or avoid terms like view or search, because those could be confusing for users. And then avoid having no sticky book button on the site altogether. Simple conversion tactic number two, and this is imperative for hotels, is having some kind of best offer, call out, or banner. The objective here is to let users know right away that the best deal is on our website. And you need to make this obvious. So we recommend putting it at the top or having it in some kind of call out that flies out when the page loads. And then we also recommend to, cater to the majority of users. Put your best offer on there, right? If you have high occupancy or you're pacing really well, then you could use this section to try to hit a need period or a need date. But you want to avoid having no offer or no value add call outs whatsoever. Right. Simple conversion tactic number three. Functional booking panel or widgets. These are the calendars that your users use to get into the booking funnel. I've seen a lot of hotels that, their booking calendars can't be used on mobile because there are hard to tap buttons. So if you haven't done this or you don't know, you need to validate this today on your website. Go onto your website, open up your booking panels or your widgets or your calendars, and make sure the buttons are easy to use, right? You want to make sure this is workable or working on mobile, desktop, and tablet, because those are all three of those are still used. If you have hard to tap buttons or drop downs on the booking widgets, that's going to frustrate your users, and they're going to hop off and they're going to book with the OTAs. So simple conversion tactic number 4. You want to have clear product pages with options. And the objective here is to enable users to scan with more accuracy and take action easily. I mean, make no mistake, users, the vast majority of users are not reading websites, they're scanning them. So ideally, you would have these in blocks or rows, which is going to make stacking a lot easier on mobile. And then you also want to have options for your CTAs, right? After a room description or an offer description, if you have learn more, a user can learn more about that room or offer. If you have book room or book offer, they can go directly to the booking engine. Users want to take their own paths to conversion. So let's let them do that by giving them the option. And then you want to avoid confusing or muddied content, right? Your titles, your images, your short descriptions, those should be uniformed. And then make sure that you don't have any dead-end pages. So on a room's details page, after you give them the information about the room, make sure you ask them for something. Give them a call to action to book that room, right? Dead-end pages it will cause users to bounce off the site. And then other conversion tactics you can use, and these are a little more complex or complicated because they require technology, but having some kind of best rate guarantee or rate matches on the site, it will help combat OTA pricing, and it also helps push tonight's rate or near future bookings. TravelTripper has a product called Conversion Plus that actually will search the booking engine for the lowest rate over the next 7 days and feed that up to the user. And again, these are tactics that OTAs are using, so we want to use them against the OTAs, and having something like scarcity messaging or urgency messaging will really help. So, only 3 rooms left, that scarcity messaging, that creates a sense of urgency or FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. And then having something like recent bookings, 346 people booked our hotel in the last 2 days, that actually builds a sense of trust with users. It shows them that other users have booked on the site and it's okay to do so. And now we're going to move into UX and design trends, and we're going to give some examples here. So we are seeing a popularity increase in big, bold headlines. Now, this was popular 5 or 6 years back, and it's becoming a lot bigger in the hotel industry. So more hotels are using bold font type, and they're using them on very stunning static hero images to grab the user's attention. We are seeing a big decrease in our homepage hero sliders and carousels, which are kind of being replaced with video intros now. And the hotels are really starting to perfect this. So hotels are trying to engage users much more visually, but with a video intro, you need to make sure that it's short, it's sweet, it's to the point. We don't recommend having long videos. If you can get it to 25, 30 seconds, that would be great. If you can get it to 15, 20 seconds, that's even better. Because what's going to happen is videos have really heavy data loads, and it will slow down your site. So you need to work with your web developer, your web agency to optimize that video for the web and strip out any unnecessary files so that it's web ready. Because obviously site speed is a conversion killer. And the next design trends we're going to talk about, which I like a lot, are micro interactions. So micro interactions have been around for about the last year and a half, and basically they're small responses users notice while taking a certain action on the website. So if you've ever hovered over a button and the border animates, or you see a page load and there's a little feature that jiggles, those are called micro interactions. And they do 2 things. One is they help engage passive users. So we want to take the users who are passively scanning the site and turn them into more engaging users. And then we want to bring focus or attention to a certain feature. This could be a book now button. It could be a special offer. It could be a banner or a call out. And then second on this slide is comprehensive yet digestible room info. And this is going to give users a quick and complete overview of room details. And the thing to understand here is that, users will consume info in different ways, right? Different content is going to cater and resonate to different users. So we recommend having, easily scanned and consumed info on like amenities and UVPs and value adds, and then also providing things like visual cues. We use a lot of icons on our rooms pages to denote square footage, to denote bed type. And then if you can, pull in a starting rate, or if your booking engine integrates with your website, pull in tonight's rate, because all those things will help in decision making. Some of these pieces will resonate with certain users, while other pieces will resonate with other users. And then last on UX design trends, we're going to talk about mobile, and these are two things that we do for our clients and highly recommend, because obviously mobile is a huge platform. We've seen a big shift from desktop to mobile in the last couple of years. And so you want to put an ever-present mobile menu or a sticky mobile menu on the mobile website. It's going to make the hotel website feel more like an app, and it's going to allow users to get to the content that's most engaging, right? We recommend putting things like a call button to call the hotel, or rooms and offers, because that's what users want to see the most. So what you can do is you can go into your Google Analytics, you can look at your mobile device category, and you can see what pages or content users are engaging with the most, and then put that down there and have that ever-present or sticky mobile menu. And then the second thing is making sure that you have a swipe through rooms or offers carousels on mobile. And this is primarily done on the home page. So imagine you have a home page on your mobile website where there are 3 room types stacked on top of each other. And then there are 3 offer types stacked on top of each other. That creates an extremely long scrolling home page on mobile. So what we recommend is having a room section, and then giving the user visual cues like arrows or something similar to let them know that they can swipe through this section. And that's going to do a couple things. One is it will cater to the swiping behavior, which became popular with dating apps, obviously. And then it will also allow you to put more room types and more offers on the homepage, which is the most visited website. Oh, I'm sorry, the most visited web page on the website, without taking up more real estate. So those are 2 really cool mobile design trends that we recommend implementing. And then guys, last but not least here, I know this slide has a lot of information on it, but this is your content best practices checklist into basics and advanced, and I'll quickly go through this. So the first thing is to have the value proposition front and center. So work with your hotel teams, work with your ownership, summarize your hotel experience into 1 sentence, and then put that on the homepage, and do it in big, bold font type, potentially in front of a video, right? Design and content work in tandem with each other. You also want to have consistent messaging. So this is especially true for calls to action. We were talking earlier about rooms descriptions, offer descriptions. If on your rooms descriptions you have view room and book room, then you want to also have on your offer descriptions view offer and book offer. Keep things consistent. The third thing here is easy to recognize room titles or offer titles. Ask yourself if your user will recognize what that offer or room is by its title. If not, then you probably need to change it. If you're on the fence on whether or not they'll recognize it, then you probably need to change it. And then compelling product copy and vibrant imagery, right? List out your amenities, your UVPs, like we were talking earlier in design. And some hotels will even put percentages off in the offer titles. So, and this is because users are scanning websites. So if a user is scanning an offers page and they see advanced purchase offer, save 25%, that might resonate more with them than just advanced purchase offer. So we have seen a little bit of a lift when clients or hotels start putting percentages off in their offer titles. But again, it's going to depend on the type of property. And then obviously good images will always help unless those images are inconsistent with the offline experience. So if you're giving stunning imagery with your hotel rooms and they look very clean, and then a user comes in there, the room is falling apart, that's going to just cause poor reviews. So make your images on the website in line with the offline experience. All right, and then content checklist advanced. So the first thing here is an easy to use sub navigation on certain pages. There are certain pages on your website like rooms, gallery, blog that might need a sub navigation so users can find the relevant content more easily. So for example, on a gallery page, if there are lots of images, you could have a sub-nav that separates those images into hotel rooms, hotel common areas, attractions around the hotel, dining, etc. And that will enable users to get to the content they want much more easily. Blog content needs purpose. So for those of you who are out there and doing blogging on your hotel websites, you want to try and target transactional intent and not just informational intent. I see a lot of hotel blogs that focus on, cool things to do in the neighborhood or great dining options. And I think what hoteliers might not understand is that's going to bring in an influx of local traffic that might not have an intention to book on your website. And essentially what that'll do is it'll increase your traffic, your organic traffic, but it's going to decrease your conversion rate. So just keep that in mind. We recommend targeting transactional intent with your blog posts. So tie a blog post into an experiential package or offer, or post about a compelling value that the hotel has, like a new room feature or a new amenity to help boost ADR. That will target transactional intent. And then finally here, guys, consistent messaging across platforms. It's really imperative to, if you send out an email marketing campaign with a certain percentage off, make sure that's being directed to a page that has that same percentage off. So if you have 20% off in your email campaign that directs a user to the website that has a call out that says 30% off, that's inconsistent and it's going to confuse your users. So your email blasts, your social posts, your PPC campaigns, all of that should work in conjunction with the website for consistent messaging. And then, content works in conjunction with design and conversion tactics. So you want to look at that in a holistic view, not just singular. All right. And Valerie, that's about all that I had.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So we will just do one more quick recap of each of our takeaways. So I will go ahead and start. If there's anything that you wish to get out of this webinar, that we wish for you to get out of this webinar, it's definitely one, adding reviews to your website to help travelers make easy and fast booking decisions. And then also collecting feedback in the right way can help increase your review score and drive more conversions, and hopefully will also impact your ROI as well. And then Dave, did you want to go ahead and present your final key takeaways?
Yeah, sure, Valerie, thanks. But just to reiterate, cashback is a very powerful weapon in this war against the OTAs and can really help influence and drive direct bookings. And the simplicity of it is that, points are dead. Everyone wants cashback, whether you're rich, whether you're poor. It's what works and it's what moves the needle on direct bookings.
Great. And then Adam, one more time, I know that you just presented everything, but just to make sure that everyone was listening.
Yeah, no problem. So content design and conversion tactics, again, look at those holistically. That'll help increase your direct revenue. And I tell this a lot to my clients. Remember that you are not your user. You need to cater to your user. Be obvious, be consistent, and be engaging with them.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I just wanted to let everyone know in the audience that all of these slides will also be available to everyone that registered and attended. So we will send out not only the recording, but you'll have the slides as well for reference. There's a lot of great information on these slides, lots of text I know to read through. And if you were taking notes, no worries. We will be sending this out after the presentation. So you'll receive that within 24 hours of right now. But if there was anything in these slides that wasn't covered or you have questions, it looks like we've already started to filter in some questions from the audience, which is great. So I think this first question would best be answered by Dave. What's the difference between a cash rewards and the discount?
Well, primarily from a strategy component, a cash reward is going directly back to the consumer. And again, when we talked about consumer behavior as to what consumers have been accustomed to, primarily, in Northern America and even now shifting in Europe as well, is, cash back goes directly back to the guest in their pocket. And the way we distribute it primarily is via PayPal. However, the guest can redeem it in a myriad of ways, even in Bitcoin. We were able to give that cash back to the guest. Whereas a discount, particularly within a hotel's revenue strategy, you're really doing it at the mercy of RevPAR and the bottom line. As we've demonstrated in the slides earlier, the discounting model is heavily claimed. No one's going to pay, bar rate when there's already a discounted rate. And so the primary differences between what a discount is able to facilitate for a hotel versus a reward is that the hotel is able to keep rate integrity, make the guest happy, have a lower adoption rate at nearly 20% versus the 100% on a discount, and really, really move the needle on direct bookings, which we're able to demonstrate by a 20% lift.
Awesome, great. And then Adam, I think this question would be best directed to you. Is it important for hotels to blog, and if we have to blog, what topics should we talk about?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is important for hotels to blog. I mean, for one, you guys have to understand that the internet grows exceptionally fast in content. So just to give you some statistics here, there are over 3,000 blog posts that are published every single minute on the World Wide Web. And that's not a joke. That number keeps on rising. So think about that over the course of a day, a week, a month, a year. The internet is growing exceptionally fast. So I definitely recommend blogging. And again, you want to have kind of a mix of your evergreen content and time-based content. So evergreen content is things that are always available, or things that can always be used by your user, right? And you want to help them in their planning or searching phases of their journey. So what I would do is I would probably connect with your front desk people and ask them what guests are asking them at the front desks, because they're probably looking up those questions online before they're coming to the hotel, and write blog posts around those types of questions. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's great. All right, and then we have a couple of questions about something that I presented, the writing style. I had referred back to that one of the key components of a trustworthy review was the writing style. And I have some questions about what specifically that means, which is a great question, and I should have gone into detail. Basically, the types of reviews that you see that have, 100 exclamation points and seem to be like, more casual, that often, might be a little bit difficult to read, misspellings, errors, things like that. All of that has to do with the style of the writing. And obviously there's not much from a hotelier perspective that you can do to avoid that. Again, creating surveys that have very specific questions that the guest can cater to and be very specific in their response will help with that, because as I said, with that open text field, it kind of gives them, the freedom to write anything that they would want, whereas specific questions to answer might have more of a clear answer. Another way that we kind of defend this with our TrustYou meta review summary is that no matter what style it's written in, we're trying to take out those specific snippets that lead to the positivity, the negativity, or the neutrality of the review. So something like, again, great service, or great Wi-Fi. Maybe something was poor. We can all kind of like filter that out. And have little snippets of content that will have just the most important things that the traveler needs to know to make ultimately that booking decision. So we're trying to filter out all of the other details that they added that might be more personal to them or might not be so relevant to the next traveler, and really dig out the pieces of content with our semantic analysis that will give you the best review of your property, most accurate review. And so that's another way that at TrustYou we're kind of combating that writing style and making sure that travelers are trusting your hotel when they read through your meta review. All right, I think we have time for a couple more questions. We're getting a lot of good questions. Let me see. Okay, so for Dave, we're getting a couple of questions. I guess we mostly saw examples of independent hotels using the booking platform. How does the guest book work for hotel chains?
Yeah, great question, Valerie. So look, so some of the larger brands, Marriott, Hilton, I mean, these are organizations that have thousands of properties worldwide, and they're hyper-focused on a point-based system. And they offer points and rewards in that format. However, most recently, even some of the large brands like Wyndham and Marriott and Hilton have even shifted to offer and recognize that instant gratification is sometimes more likely by the guest, and they've even shifted like gift cards and presenting in that fashion. We do work with some regional chains that are more independent and boutique lifestyle chains. We do integrate directly with them and have great success. But for some of the larger chains like the Marriotts and Hilton, they're going to stay in their lane. They've got thousands of properties, and that point-based system does indeed work. But if you're an individual property or a group or a cluster of properties, we know that we won't be able to move the needle by offering the rewards versus a point or a discount model. And so we do have some small chains that we do work with. And as long as they're not part of like a soft brand or a major chain like a Marriott or Hilton, the guest book can easily slide in right into the existing infrastructure.
Perfect. All right, and then last one, I'll hand over to you, Adam. Are there other conversion killers that we should know about than what was listed?
Yeah, I mean, site speed really is one of the biggest. So making sure that your site loads fast. And I mean, yeah, there are plenty of conversion killers. You just, if you can keep things obvious for your users and really simple for your users, don't kind of reinvent the wheel or go outside the box, because users who are on websites and are coming to hotel websites just want things very easy to find and obvious for them. I don't know if I can think of any major conversion killers right now, but site speed would be like the number one. I think that's one of the biggest.
Yeah, definitely. People do not have the patience for loading time.
They do not whatsoever.
Especially the digital natives. We should do a secondary study on how long they'll wait, which is probably not very much.
Yeah, seconds, 1 or 2 maybe.
All right, perfect. Well, we have a couple of other questions, but they are pretty specific. So what we'll do is when we export the webinar, we're able to see everyone who's asked questions, and we have your contact information from the registration process. So we will follow up with you individually if you have questions about one of our specific companies. But for now, I don't want to go too far past the hour. So I will end here by thanking our 2 speakers, Dave and Adam. Thank you so much for joining us and presenting such awesome content for this audience. They seemed to really enjoy it, and we look forward to following up with everyone.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
All right, and thank you everyone who attended. Again, appreciate your time throughout all hours of your day that you considered joining us, and we'll be in touch very soon with recording and slides and more answers to your questions. So hope everyone has a great morning, afternoon, and good night. Cheers, everyone.